Hi guys! So today I want to share with you 7 movies that have crazy endings. So all these movies, they start out as all movies do, but you think something's happening when really it's not, and it's the opposite. Or you think you know something, but you're wrong. Or you think you know something and you end up being right and you're like, oh my gosh, I was right. I could only find 7. I wanted to find 10 because 10 is my favorite number, but I was like, let's not force it, because I don't want to include movies that I watched that I hated that are like that. So I'm gonna go in order from best to worst. So the top one I have is called 47 Meters Below. So it's about these 2 sisters that go on vacation and they want to see sharks while they're in a cage. So instead of going the tourism route, they find these locals that take them on their boat and their cage. And I'm gonna try my best not to spoil it for you guys, but I want to tell you basically what happens. So anyway, they go in the cage and the cage ends up breaking and they go 47 meters below surface. So they're at the bottom of the ocean. A lot of things happen down there. I'm not going to tell you guys what happens because that is for you to find out. It's definitely not the ending you expect, is all I can say. It's like, that movie is up there with my other favorite movies, even though my other favorite movies aren't crazy movie endings. Okay, so the second movie is The Girl on the Train. This only came out a little bit ago, but I watched it and I was like, you think you know what the ending is and you're like, okay, that guy is the killer or that girl is the killer. Then you're like, it's not. And then it's somebody else, and then you find it something else that's a major part of this movie. Basically, there was this woman and she was married. Something went wrong in the marriage, I kind of forget, and they split up and she rides the train to work every day. And she always goes by this one house and this one couple, and they're so perfect. So she draws them in her art book and she goes by them every day. And then one day she sees something that makes her want to actually go and talk to these people. And then you find out all this other stuff that happened that is involved, and it's just crazy. I can't say too much without spoiling it, so I'm sorry that what I'm saying probably doesn't make any sense. These are the 2 movies I recommend to people to watch if they want a movie with a shocking ending, because they embody it. All the other ones, they're okay. They're just average, and they did have a shock factor for me, but they're definitely not the best, hands down. Definitely go check out those 2 if you want to check out any of these movies, because the third one is Identity. So this is about a criminal that is on trial or whatever, and he is being transported by a cop. They're trying to decide, should he be let free or should he be staying in jail because of what happened. He had a mental disorder that made him kill people, and he didn't really mean it, like it wasn't him. So that's what they're trying to figure out. And while this is going on, there's another story going on that relates to it. So it's kind of hard to connect the dots, but eventually you do, and you're like, whoa. Basically, you're trying to figure out who the killer is. So you think you know who it is, and then you're wrong. I didn't think it was that person for the whole time either. I thought it was somebody else, and then somebody else, and then I was like, I think it's that person, and I'm sticking with that, and I was wrong. So you guys can try to guess who you think it is. Fourth one is Red Riding Hood. This came out a couple of years ago, but it is one of my favorite movies, not because of the flip ending, but because of how it's filmed. It's so beautiful, all the graphics in it and the actors, and it's one of my favorites. And the storyline. It's about werewolves. If you didn't guess, Little Red Riding Hood is normally about a wolf, but in this case it is about a werewolf that is tormenting the city. And the wolf normally doesn't kill people, but he has begun killing people. And the people he kills are very important to the storyline of finding out who the wolf is. So I thought I knew who the wolf was when I first watched it, but it is not who you expect it to be. So you can try to guess that one along and be like, oh, is that the guy? Is that the guy? Is that the girl? Like, who is it? The fifth one is The Illusionist. So this is about a magician when he's little, he has feelings for this princess, but the princess is forbidden to see him, and all she wants is to disappear with him. He goes away and he tries to learn all these fancy magician ways from these older magicians that are teaching him. He comes back to the palace one day and he is a magician for the prince and soon to be queen or emperor or whatever they are. And he finds out that the queen to be or whatever is, he realizes who it is and she has an affair with him, and then she gets murdered by the emperor, by her husband, soon to be husband. And throughout the whole thing you're following him around trying to find clues to pin it on him, and the magician eventually kind of goes insane and he starts doing these crazy tricks in front of the townspeople, showing them who killed her. And in the end, something crazy happens, as do all these movies, but you guys should definitely watch to find out. It's definitely not something you expect, even though it is so there. Like, it's right in front of you and you don't even notice it, and that's why it's an illusion. The sixth one is Flight Plan. This is an older movie. So for this movie, there's only 2 options. So she has a daughter and a husband, and the husband dies, and so she's traveling with the daughter to take her to the grandparents to live there for a while. And while she's on the plane flying to the grandparents, her daughter goes missing. And she tries to find her on the plane. She can't find her. They organize a search party on the plane, still don't find her. And that's when everyone starts saying she's crazy. She didn't actually bring her daughter on the plane. We didn't see her bring her daughter on the plane. There's no ticket proving that she had her daughter on the plane. So you're like, did she actually have her daughter on the plane? Or did she not? Do you believe what everyone is saying, or do you believe in her? And it really plays a mental thing with you. Like, you think you know, and then you're wrong, and you could be right, though, because there's only 2 options, right? And there's also another big thing that happens in the movie that you cannot predict at all. So that happens, and that's the biggest, craziest part, other than is the daughter there or is she not? Okay, and the last movie, number 7, is The Secret Window. I watched this a long time ago because I am a diehard Johnny Depp fan. This one I just remember because it was the first ever movie I was introduced to that had that flip ending that you didn't expect. So if you haven't seen this one, definitely go check it out. He's not wearing like a costume or anything like his other movies like Alice in Wonderland, Edward Scissorhands. He is looking very much like just plain old Johnny Depp, but he plays a writer that writes a book about this secret window in his house. That's all I can really say, because I don't want to spoil anything, and I kind of watched it a long time ago, so I don't remember everything. But you definitely don't expect what's happening to not be real. I hope you guys check out some of these movies, and the sad thing is that really you can only watch it once or twice before you're like, oh, I already know what happens and it's boring. The first time you watch it, you're like, wow. The second time you watch it, you're like picking up on little things you didn't notice the first time. So I always watch these movies twice so I can catch those little things, because I enjoy picking them out and finding them and being like, oh, I should have saw that. And yeah, so I hope you guys check out these movies. I like them. They're awesome. This is my list of crazy movie endings. Let me know if there's any other movies like this. Please comment them down below. I want to binge watch them. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.